This is Brad A. Milford with the Unlimited Business Wisdom Podcast, where business owners making 5 to 6 figures, 7, 8, who cares? They're sharing their wisdom and they're creating impact. It's 6 questions in 9 minutes because transforming possibility leads to reality. So let's get to it. Question number 1. Who are you in a few sentences? Tell me what you do.
I am James Gaffney, also known as Uncle Jimbo, and I help people with their brands. Everything from strategy to execution, visuals to marketing. Soup to nuts, and a lot of nuts, mainly nuts.
Love it. Love it. Everything brand. I dig it. Nice and simple. Question number 2. What's the best thing about being in business?
This sounds trite and everybody says it, but the freedom. I do work a lot. I probably work more than I should, but I also know that if my son comes into the office and, wants to show me his latest piece of art or marbles or whatever, I can take off and do it. I missed the first few years of my first son's life, and I haven't missed a whole lot more since, and it's been great.
Awesome. I love that. I love it. I could hear that a million times over and it would touch my heart every single time. So I love, trite or not, I love hearing it. Thanks for sharing it. Question number 3. We hear from other business owners that they're getting so much business, even during these times right now, that people are just crushing it in the digital space. And that sometimes that chaos is causing overwhelm. Tell me your thoughts on that, Jim.
Yeah, it's true. I think there's been a lot of people have really upped their game, and I've seen people up their game. I've upped my game. And it's really simple to get overwhelmed, especially as a service business or somebody that takes a lot of time one-on-one with clients. You can get overwhelmed and overbooked really, really quickly. And especially if you're in a creative industry, something like that, overbooked and overworked and overwhelmed is, it's a strategy for not being able to get things done. So right now business is kind of different. I'm in the middle of transitioning business from one model to another. But I still have clients, but I know that for my sanity, I have to turn a certain number away, or I just can't deliver the good stuff, which people pay me to deliver.
And did they do? They pay you for the good stuff.
They do. They do. They don't pay me to be distracted and worried and overstressed. They pay me to be creative. And
awesome. I love it. I love
hard
it.
to do when you're feeling beat up.
Indeed. Thanks for sharing. Question number 4. What other successful business owners like yourself, of course, should be on the Unlimited Wisdom podcast?
I'd like to see Brandon Marshall. He might be a little bit of a wild card, but he's actually really cool and has some terrific things to say about, especially online personas. Really interesting stuff. Really good guy. And also Randall Smith. He's fairly new in the entrepreneurial game, but I think he's a real player and a really, really great guy.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Jim. I appreciate that. Question number 5. Let's get to the crux of all this, right? Like, what wisdom would you share with other business owners?
Wow. From a self-serving standpoint, make sure you know your brand. If you haven't defined your brand, if you haven't really sat down and kind of looked at your ethos inside and out, do it and write it down, because it makes a lot of difference. It makes a lot of things a lot easier. It makes marketing easier. It makes client attraction easier. It just makes everything easier when you got a lot of clarity on your brand. I have seen a lot of people fail and a lot of people succeed, and a lot of the people that succeeded, the vast majority of them had a really intimate understanding of their brand. And I'm not talking about the design. I'm talking about the heart of what you do, the promise of what you do. If you've got that nailed, if you've really got that defined, it's a lot easier to do everything else that you need to do and want to do as a business.
Now, you've been in this space for a long time. Could you share one idea on one little nugget on how a person that doesn't know how to do that? Could like one step they could take?
What is it about you and about your business that your client will come to expect and come to love each and every time about what you deliver? And that is the core of brand. The core of a brand is a promise. And what is it that you promise? If if you are the best car tire salesman in Albuquerque, be the best car tire salesman in Albuquerque. If you are, the most terrific graphic designer in Saskatchewan, be the most terrific graphic designer in Saskatchewan. Um, Define that promise, and it doesn't have to be these big flowery words, but just define what people are going to look for in your service each and every time. And once you've got that defined, like I said earlier, it just makes everything easier and a lot more fun.
Love it. Thanks for drilling down for me with a little bit. There's a lot of people in that space that ask questions. So,
Yeah.
but they're going to get to connect with you here in just a minute. So
Nice.
appreciate that. Let's shift gears for a second. What's the most fun vacation you've ever had?
Well, it may not really qualify as a vacation, but 3 years ago, my wife and I, we sold everything we had, closed down our office, literally sold everything that we had, piled ourselves and 4 children into a very small RV and went traveling for 18 months. Um, and went all across the United States, from Maine to California and pretty much everywhere in between, and just had the most wonderful time. And came back and settled, and we're looking to do that again here in about a year or maybe 2 years.
Good for you. That sounds amazing.
It was awesome,
So,
man. This is a beautiful country. It's a beautiful country.
absolutely, that is amazing. I didn't know that. So, thanks for sharing that. And I love hearing that. I I did something similar. So, it's not been quite 2 years, but I gave a bunch of my stuff. I gave like $50,000 worth of stuff away, put the rest in storage, and I've been on the road ever since. So I love hearing when other people have the guts to do something like that. And you took your family. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great, man. We just had so much fun. It's unbelievable.
That's
Unbelievable.
awesome. Well, thanks for being on, Jim. I appreciate it. This is Brad A. Milford from the Unlimited Business Wisdom Podcast, where business owners are making 5 to 6 figures or more and they share their wisdom globally. How can people get in touch with you when they hear this and they want to reach out?
The easiest way to get in touch with me is probably on Facebook. Just look for James Gaffney or James PM Gaffney. Pretty easy to find. Um, I've got a website, nothingtobrand.com, that takes you to my sales page for my course, which is a 30-day zero to everything you need for a brand course. Interesting stuff. And also at jamespmgaffney.com. That's pretty easy. It's just my name.com. And I'm always around. I'm easy to find.
I love it. I love it. You got some cool stuff on social media. So check him out on social media and get out to his website. So thanks for joining us, everybody. Peace.